Have you ever wondered why your journey has been so turbulent, why the winds seem to always blow against you, and the storms never seem to cease? You've prayed, cried out, and even questioned your path. Yet in the silence of those moments, there was always a whisper, a divine assurance that the trials were not for your destruction, but for your elevation. I'm here to tell you something extraordinary. What you've endured wasn't wasted. Those sleepless nights, those battles that no one saw, were shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for something that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Stay with me, because what's about to unfold in your life will be nothing short of divine revelation and supernatural provision. When God sets his eyes on someone for greatness, the process isn't always easy to comprehend. There is a divine law in the kingdom that preparation must precede promotion. God never releases his treasures into unprepared hands because he values his gifts too much to entrust them to those who cannot steward them. What you thought were setbacks were actually setups for what's coming next in your life. The fiery trials, the disappointments, and the seasons of lack were all tools in the hands of the master potter to shape you for the glory that is about to be revealed. Think about Joseph. He had a dream of greatness, a vision that seemed impossible. Yet before the palace there was the pit. Before the position there was the prison. It wasn't because God forgot him, it was because God was preparing him. You too have faced seasons that seemed unbearable. Maybe you've questioned your worth. Maybe you've even wondered if God still has a plan for you. But I assure you, every tear you cried was counted. Every pain you endured was purposed. Your trials were never meant to destroy you, they were designed to build resilience, faith, and character. In the kingdom of God, wealth is not just about money. It's about influence, purpose, and responsibility. What God is about to release in your life isn't just for you, it's for his glory and the advancement of his kingdom. The blessings he is preparing to pour out are tied to your willingness to walk in alignment with his will. He doesn't bless randomly, he blesses strategically. He has chosen you because he sees in you the heart of a steward, someone who will not hoard but will honor him with what they receive. But let me remind you of this truth: the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. This isn't just a promise, it's a principle. God has been orchestrating a divine transfer. What was held back from you, what seemed unreachable, is being positioned for your hands. Yet, this isn't a time to relax, it's a time to remain vigilant. The enemy knows what's coming your way, and he'll do everything to distract you from the path of obedience. But if you stay rooted in his word, if you refuse to waver, nothing can stop what God has already ordained. You've survived the pruning season, and now the harvest is here. But let's not forget, harvest requires work. The blessings of God are not passive, they require action, discipline, and alignment. He's not just looking to give you wealth, he's looking to trust you with it. Your trials were the training ground for this moment. The seasons of lack taught you gratitude. The nights of prayer built your spiritual muscles. Now, as you step into this season of abundance, remember that the same God who brought you here must remain at the center of it all. As I speak to you today, I sense a shift in the spirit. The heavens are open, and God is releasing what was once withheld. The seeds you've sown in tears will now bring forth a harvest of joy. The prayers you've prayed in private will manifest publicly. But this isn't the end, this is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where your testimony will become the evidence of God's faithfulness to others. You are about to walk in the overflow, not because of your merit, but because of his mercy. When God blesses, he does so in a way that leaves no room for doubt. He ensures that no man can take credit for what he's done. Your story will be one of those undeniable miracles. People will look at you and see the fingerprints of God all over your life. They'll wonder how it happened, and the only explanation will be the favor of the Almighty. But remember, favor isn't fair. It's not about what you deserve, it's about what God has chosen to bestow. Even as you step into this season of abundance, keep your eyes fixed on the giver, not just the gift. Wealth without purpose is empty. Success without significance is fleeting. God's intention is not just to make you wealthy, but to make you impactful. He wants you to be a beacon of his glory, a testament to his goodness. This is why the trials were necessary. They refined you, humbled you, and prepared you to handle what's coming next. God's timing is impeccable. He doesn't operate on our schedules, but when His moment arrives, it is perfect. Every delay you experience was not a denial, but a detour meant to strengthen you for the destination. Now that the season has shifted, walk boldly in the confidence that He who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let the opinions of others cause you to doubt. If God has spoken it, it will come to pass. All He requires is your faith and obedience. As you step into this new season, take a moment to reflect on the journey. Remember the lessons, cherish the growth, and honor the process. What God is doing in your life isn't just about you, it's about His kingdom. This is your moment to shine, not for your glory, but for His. The trials are over, the time is now, and the blessings are here. Stay faithful, stay grounded, and watch as God does exceedingly, abundantly, above all you could ask or imagine. Let me continue. You are entering a season where every closed door will be opened, not by your strength, but by the divine authority of the one who goes before you. The trials you endured, not random, they were orchestrated with purpose. God allowed certain things to break in your life so He could build you back stronger. He permitted people to walk away from you because they could not handle the magnitude of where He was taking you. Everything that seemed like a loss was, in fact, a pruning process to prepare you for the abundance that is now at hand. But do not forget, this is a covenant moment. God's promises are always tied to His principles. The wealth, influence, and blessings He's about to release into your life are not just for your personal enjoyment. They are tools for kingdom work. God blesses you so that you can become a blessing. He provides so you can provide. He pours into your life so that you can pour into others. This is why the trials were so intense, because the magnitude of the calling required a deeper level of refinement. Think about David. He was anointed as king long before he ever wore the crown. In the time between his anointing and his appointment, he faced rejection, betrayal, and countless battles. Yet each challenge was a stepping stone to his destiny. In the same way, your trials were training you for this moment. God was building in you the heart of a warrior, the mind of a steward, and the faith of a conqueror. What you thought was breaking you was actually making you. You see, the trials were a test of your heart. God was watching how you handled the little before He entrusted you with the much. When you had only enough to get by, did you still give? When the door seemed locked, did you still knock? When the prayers went unanswered, did you still believe? These moments were not about what you had, they were about who you were becoming. And now that you have passed the test, heaven is opening over your life. This is the moment where faith meets fulfillment. The years of sowing in tears will now yield a harvest of joy. But remember, the harvest comes with responsibility. God is not just giving you resources, He is entrusting you with influence. He is positioning you as a light in a world filled with darkness. Your wealth will not just be measured in numbers, but in the lives you impact, the souls you reach, and the legacy you leave. The enemy will try to convince you that you are not ready, that you are not worthy, that you do not deserve this blessing. But let me remind you of the truth. It is not about your worthiness, it is about God's faithfulness. He chose you not because of what you could do, but because of what He can do through you. Do not allow fear or doubt to rob you of what is already yours. Step boldly into this season, knowing that the one who called you is faithful to equip you. Even now, as you prepare to walk in this new season, guard your heart and mind. The distractions will come, the temptations will arise, and the voices of doubt will whisper. But keep your focus on Him. Seek His wisdom in every decision. Trust His guidance in every step. Remember, the same God who brought you through the trials is the same God who will sustain you in the triumph. You are about to witness the manifestation of promises you've carried in your spirit for years. The prayers you whispered in the midnight hour, the dreams you dared to dream, and the visions you held on to despite the odds, they are all coming to pass. But this is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you walk in purpose, power, and divine provision. God's plans are always layered, intricate, and purposeful. Every delay, every closed door, and every setback was part of a divine strategy. It's not just about the blessings you are about to walk into, but the person you become through the journey. You are no longer the same as you were when the trials began. God has been shaping your character, refining your heart, and molding your perspective to align with His kingdom principles. He allowed you to face impossibilities, so you would learn to rely on Him entirely, not on your own strength or understanding. The world measures success by achievement and possessions, but God's kingdom operates on an entirely different system. In the kingdom, wealth is not merely about accumulation but about purpose. The trials you endured have given you a heart of compassion, a deeper faith, and a vision for the greater good. You now understand that what you receive isn't meant to stop with you. It's a flow, a channel through which God will impact others. That's why your trials were so intense, because the calling on your life is extraordinary. As you step into this season, you must remain anchored in the truth that it is God who gives you the ability to produce wealth. The blessings that are unfolding in your life are a testament to His promises, not your efforts alone. He is the author of your story, and He has orchestrated every detail to align with His perfect will. You will see doors open that no man can shut, and you will walk into opportunities that seem beyond your reach. This is not by chance, but by divine design. You were chosen for this. Yet, there is a sobering reality that comes with being chosen. The responsibility attached to your calling is immense. The trials you endured weren't just about preparing you for blessings, they were also about teaching you stewardship. God allowed you to experience seasons of lack so that you would learn how to handle abundance. He allowed rejection to strengthen your resilience. He permitted delays to build your patience. Every experience was a lesson in preparation for this moment. The enemy sees what's coming, and he will try to attack your mind and spirit. He will remind you of your failures, your shortcomings, and your past. But you must remember that your identity is not rooted in your mistakes, but in God's grace. The trials were never about proving your worth to God, they were about revealing His power in your life. Your testimony isn't one of self-achievement, but of divine intervention. The moments you thought you wouldn't survive were the very moments God was carrying you. This season is one of manifestation. The seeds you planted in faith are breaking through the soil, and the harvest is abundant. But don't forget that with the harvest comes the responsibility to sow again. God's blessings are perpetual, designed to flow through you and into the lives of others. You were chosen not just to receive, but to multiply, to be a steward of what He entrusts to you. The wealth you are about to experience is not merely material, it is spiritual, emotional, and relational. God's abundance touches every area of your life. As you walk into this season, humility will be your greatest strength. The same God who lifted you up can sustain you, but He requires your obedience. Stay rooted in His word, seek His presence daily, and let His Spirit guide your steps. The blessings are not an end, they are a beginning. They are the resources you will need to fulfill the purpose He has placed within you. Your life is about to be a beacon of hope for those around you, a testament to what happens when you trust God through the trials. People will look at you and wonder how you achieved so much, but they won't see the nights you spent on your knees, the tears you cried, or the battles you fought in silence. What they will see is the evidence of God's hand on your life. But remember, this isn't about impressing others, it's about glorifying Him. Let your story be a reflection of His goodness, not your greatness. The wealth you're stepping into is a tool for kingdom work, a means to expand His influence on earth. The trials you endured have given you a unique perspective. You now understand what it means to have nothing and to rely on God for everything. That perspective is a gift. It will keep you grounded as the blessings flow. You've learned to value the small things, to be grateful in every circumstance, and to trust God in the waiting. Those lessons will serve you well in this next season, because they remind you of the source of your blessings. God's timing is impeccable. He knew exactly when to release the floodgates of heaven over your life. If He had done it earlier, you might not have been ready. If He had done it later, you might have grown weary. But now, in this moment, you are prepared. Your faith has been tested, your heart has been refined, and your vision has been clarified. You now understand that the blessings aren't about comfort, they're about calling. They're not about status, they're about service. As you walk into this season, keep your eyes on Him. The blessings will come with challenges, but they will also come with grace. The same God who brought you through the trials will sustain you in the triumph. He is your source, your provider, and your guide. Trust Him in every step, and you will see His hand move in ways you never imagined. This is your moment, not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. God's faithfulness knows no limits, and as you step into this season, it is crucial to remember that your story is far from ordinary. Every victory, every breakthrough, and every blessing that is about to come your way has been meticulously prepared by His divine hand. You may not understand why certain doors were closed or why some seasons felt unbearably long, but now you can see how every moment was necessary for where you're heading. The trials you thought would break you have instead refined you, shaping you into a vessel that God can trust with greater things. The wealth, influence, and abundance coming into your life are not random. They are the result of a divine covenant, a promise made by a God who cannot lie. But these blessings are not meant to elevate you above others. They are designed to position you as a servant, a steward, and a light in a world that desperately needs hope. God has entrusted you with a unique role, and the resources He is releasing into your life are tools to accomplish His will. He is not only blessing you, but is also making you a blessing to nations. In the same way that Joseph went from the prison to the palace, you are about to see a shift in your circumstances. But remember, even when Joseph reached the height of his success, his heart remained aligned with God's purpose. He understood that his position of influence was not for self-glorification, but for the saving of many lives. You too are being placed in a position where your decisions, actions, and generosity will ripple into eternity. God is using you as a conduit of His grace, and with that comes great responsibility. You've learned to rely on God when you had little, and now He is teaching you to rely on Him when you have much. This is a lesson many overlook, but it is just as important. Wealth and abundance can be distractions if they are not grounded in a heart of worship. The enemy will try to use these blessings to draw you away from your Creator, to convince you that you no longer need Him. But you must remember that everything you have and everything you are comes from Him. He is the source, and without Him, the blessings lose their meaning. The process you've endured has not only built your character, but has also positioned you to handle what is coming. God never gives us more than we can bear, and that includes blessings. He knows the weight of influence and resources, and He has spent this time preparing you to carry it with grace. You are stepping into a season where favor will surround you, where opportunities will come effortlessly, and where doors will open without you even knocking. But as these blessings pour in, your focus must remain on the One who made it all possible. The world will take notice of what God is doing in your life, and some will question how it happened. They won't understand the hours you spent in prayer, the moments of doubt you overcame, or the faith it took to keep going. They will see the glory, but not the story. Yet this is your opportunity to point them to the author of it all. Let your testimony be a reminder that God is still in the business of miracles, that He is still faithful to those who trust Him, and that He is still the God who turns trials into triumphs. This is not just about financial wealth, it's about the fullness of life that God promises. You will see restoration in relationships, healing in your body, and peace in your mind. The blessings coming your way will touch every area of your life, leaving no stone unturned. But as you experience this overflow, remember that it is not yours to hoard. God is calling you to be a distributor of His blessings, to pour out what He has poured into you, and to be a reflection of His love in a world that is hungry for hope. Your journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and faith. When others gave up, you held on. When circumstances seemed impossible, you believed in the God of possibilities. And now that faith is being rewarded. But this is just the beginning. God's plans for you are far greater than what you can see right now. He is setting you up for generational impact, for a legacy that will outlive you. The wealth and influence coming your way are not just for today, they are seeds for tomorrow, designed to impact lives long after you are gone. As you navigate this new season, remain vigilant. The enemy will try to distract you, to sow seeds of doubt, and to pull you away from your purpose. But you have been equipped with everything you need to stand firm. The same God who brought you through the wilderness will sustain you in the promised land. He will provide wisdom for every decision, peace for every storm, and strength for every challenge. Trust Him, lean on Him, and let Him guide your steps. Your trials were not in vain. They were the groundwork for the testimony you now carry. They were the preparation for the platform God is giving you. Every tear you cried, every prayer you whispered, and every step you took in faith has led you to this moment. And now, as you stand on the brink of this new season, remember that it is all for His glory. Your life is a canvas, and He is the master artist, painting a picture of grace, redemption, and victory. God's plans are never accidental, and His timing is never off. You've been prepared for this moment in ways you cannot fully comprehend. Every obstacle, every season of waiting, and every unexpected detour was shaping you for the greatness you are about to step into. The trials you endured were necessary not to punish you but to refine you. They purified your motives, deepened your faith, and solidified your reliance on God. What seemed like delay was divine alignment, ensuring that you would be ready for the weight of the blessings that are now coming your way. The kingdom operates differently from the world. While the world focuses on self-promotion and striving, God's kingdom emphasizes surrender and trust. The trials you faced taught you to surrender your plans, your timeline, and even your understanding. You learned to trust God not just when things were clear, but when the path was dark and the future seemed uncertain. That trust has now become your greatest asset. It is what will sustain you as you step into this new chapter. You no longer operate out of fear or anxiety, because you've seen God's hand move in the midst of impossible circumstances. The blessings that are about to flow into your life are not random. They are intentional, designed to fulfill the purpose God has placed within you. Every gift, every opportunity, and every resource has a role in advancing His kingdom. God is strategic in His blessings. He doesn't give for the sake of giving. He gives so that His children can walk in their calling, influence others for His glory, and expand His reach on earth. This is not just about wealth in the physical sense, but about spiritual richness that transforms lives. As you step into this season of abundance, remember the lessons of the wilderness. It was there that God taught you to depend on Him for your daily bread. It was there that you learned the value of faith over fear, obedience over convenience, and worship over worry. Those lessons will anchor you now. The wilderness wasn't just a season of struggle, it was a season of preparation. It prepared you for the weight of influence, the responsibility of leadership, and the discipline required to handle abundance with humility. You may feel overwhelmed by what's ahead, but God has already equipped you for this journey. The trials you endured have given you resilience, clarity, and perspective. You now understand that success is not about what you can achieve, but about what you can steward. God is not looking for people who will hoard His blessings, but for those who will distribute them wisely. You've been chosen because you've shown yourself faithful in the little things. And as the word says, to those who are faithful with little, much will be given. This is not the time to shrink back or to second guess what God is doing. It's time to step forward boldly, knowing that He has gone before you. The opportunities that are coming your way will require courage, wisdom, and discernment. They will stretch you in ways you've never been stretched before, but they will also bring fulfillment, purpose, and joy like you've never known. God's plans for you are far greater than you can imagine. He is not only blessing you, but is using you to be a blessing to others. There will be moments when you are tempted to take credit for what God is doing in your life. The world will applaud your success, admire your achievements, and seek to elevate you. But you must remain humble, always pointing back to the one who made it all possible. The blessings are not about you, they are about Him. Your life is a testimony of His faithfulness, His power, and His grace. Let every success you experience be an opportunity to glorify God and to draw others closer to Him. The trials have taught you the value of patience and perseverance. You now understand that God's timing is perfect. even when it doesn't align with your own. You've seen how He works behind the scenes, orchestrating events in ways that you could never have planned. That understanding will be your strength in this new season. When challenges arise, you can rest in the knowledge that the same God who brought you this far will carry you forward. He is faithful, and He is for you. As you walk in this season of abundance, stay rooted in His Word. The Bible is your guide, your anchor, and your source of wisdom. It is filled with promises that remind you of who you are and whose you are. Let those promises fuel your faith and keep you grounded. The enemy will try to distract you with the allure of worldly success, but you must stay focused on what truly matters. The trials taught you that God is enough, and that truth will sustain you in the days ahead. This new season is not the end of your journey, it is a beginning. It is the start of a chapter where God's promises are fulfilled, His plans are revealed, and His glory is displayed through your life. But with blessings come responsibilities. You are called to be a light, a voice, and an example. You are called to use what God has given you to uplift others, to share the gospel, and to expand His kingdom. This is not a burden, it is a privilege. You've been chosen for such a time as this, and God's grace will enable you to fulfill your calling. The weight of this moment is significant, and it is no accident that you find yourself here. God has orchestrated every step, every challenge, and every breakthrough to prepare you for this exact time. His plans for you have always been intentional, and now you are walking into the manifestation of promises that have been spoken over your life long before you could imagine. What may have felt like random circumstances or disconnected events were, in truth, part of a divine design. You were being equipped, shaped, and molded to handle what is now unfolding. In this season, you must guard your heart and your mind with even greater diligence. Success and abundance bring their own set of trials. They test your humility, your priorities, and your allegiance to God. The blessings coming your way will elevate you, but they are not meant to isolate you from the one who made them possible. You must keep your eyes fixed on Him, for He is both the giver and sustainer of every good thing in your life. Never allow the gifts to overshadow the giver. God has chosen you not just to prosper, but to represent Him in this world. You are stepping into a season where your life will be a beacon of hope and inspiration to others. People will look at you and wonder how you overcame, how you rose above the trials, and how you found the strength to keep going. Your testimony will be a living sermon, a testament to the power of faith, perseverance, and divine favor. In sharing your story, you will draw others closer to God, not through your words alone, but through the evidence of His work in your life. As you embrace the abundance that is coming, never forget the lessons of the past. Remember the times when you had nothing but God, when your prayers were filled with desperation and your faith was tested in the fire of adversity. Those moments were not wasted, they were building a foundation of trust and dependence on Him. Now, as you stand on the threshold of extraordinary blessings, that foundation will keep you steady. You will not be swayed by the opinions of others or by the fleeting pleasures of this world, because your roots are deep, anchored in the truth of who God is. You must also be intentional about how you steward the resources and opportunities that God is placing in your hands. These blessings are not just for you, they are meant to flow through you to impact others. God is calling you to be a conduit of His love, grace, and provision. The influence and wealth you are receiving are tools to fulfill a higher purpose. They are meant to build His kingdom, to uplift the brokenhearted, and to meet the needs of those who cannot help themselves. This is your chance to partner with God in His work, to be His hands and feet in a world that desperately needs Him. The journey you've been on has also prepared you to recognize the traps that often come with success. You've learned to discern the voices of those who seek to manipulate, flatter, or distract you. Not everyone who celebrates your victories has your best interests at heart. Some will try to attach themselves to your success, not because they are aligned with your purpose, but because they see an opportunity for personal gain. But God has given you wisdom and discernment. He has taught you to listen to His voice above all others. Trust Him to guide you in your relationships, your decisions, and your plans. This is also a time to deepen your spiritual disciplines. The very practices that sustained you in the wilderness prayer, worship, fasting, and studying God's Word are the same practices that will sustain you in this new season. Success should never become a substitute for seeking God. The busyness that often accompanies abundance can easily pull you away from the quiet moments of communion with Him. Guard those moments fiercely, for they are the source of your strength, your peace, and your clarity. It is in those moments that God will reveal His strategies, His wisdom, and His next steps for you. God's timing is perfect, and He never makes a mistake. You may wonder why the blessings didn't come sooner or why the process took so long. But as you reflect on the journey, you will see that every delay was purposeful. God was not withholding blessings from you, He was preparing you for them. He was ensuring that you would be ready to handle the weight of success with integrity and grace. He was aligning the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances to bring you into His perfect plan. As you move forward, keep your faith active. The blessings you are experiencing are not the end of your journey, they are a stepping stone to even greater things. God's plans for you are always bigger than what you can see or imagine. He is a God of abundance, and He delights in exceeding our expectations. But His blessings are not just about material wealth, they are about the fullness of life that comes from walking in His purpose. He wants to bless you in every area spiritually, emotionally, relationally, and physically. Trust Him to complete the good work He has begun in you. Your life is a testimony of God's faithfulness, and it is a reminder to others that He is still in the business of miracles. You are proof that God can take what was meant for harm and turn it into something beautiful. You are a living example of His ability to redeem, restore, and elevate. Let your life inspire others to believe, to hope, and to trust in the God who never fails. As you share your story, you will sow seeds of faith in others, seeds that will bear fruit in ways you may never see. The blessings coming your way will require boldness and courage. They will call you to step out of your comfort zone, to take risks, and to trust God in new and deeper ways. But you can move forward with confidence, knowing that He is with you. The same God who carried you through the trials will sustain you in the triumphs. He has not brought you this far to leave you now. His promises are sure, and His plans are perfect. You stand now on the threshold of a season that will redefine everything you've known. The trials, the waiting, and the pain were not wasted. They were the tools God used to prepare you for this moment. You are walking into His divine plan, a plan that not only blesses you but also allows you to be a blessing to others. The wealth, influence, and opportunities coming your way are not just rewards, they are assignments. They are sacred trusts from God, meant to reflect His glory and expand His kingdom. But remember, it's not about what you are gaining, it's about who you are becoming. Through it all, God has been shaping your heart, strengthening your faith, and teaching you to walk humbly before Him. These lessons are your greatest treasure because they will sustain you when the applause fades and the challenges come again. Stay rooted in His Word, faithful in prayer, and intentional in your relationship with Him. Let your life be a beacon of God's faithfulness. Let your story testify to His power to redeem, restore, and elevate. You are stepping into a season where God's promises will be fulfilled and His plans will be revealed. Walk boldly, live purposefully, and let every blessing point back to the One who made it all possible. The trials are over. Now step forward in faith, knowing that God has prepared you for such a time as this. Relationships are one of the most significant aspects of life, but not every connection is aligned with God's purpose for you. When God doesn't want you with someone, He often reveals it through clear signs rooted in His Word. The Bible reminds us in Amos 3:3, "Can two walk together, except they be agreed?" God values unity, purpose, and spiritual alignment, and He will steer you away from relationships that hinder your growth or calling. Recognizing these divine warnings is an act of obedience, as His plans are always for your good. Jeremiah 29:11. If you feel confusion or unrest in your relationship, it might be time to seek clarity in prayer and Scripture. By understanding these signs, you open yourself to relationships that reflect God's love and lead you closer to His will. Let's explore these divine insights together. Discernment is a vital spiritual gift that acts as a compass in our lives, guiding us toward decisions that align with God's will. In relationships, discernment becomes even more critical because the choices we make in this area can shape the trajectory of our destiny. The Bible warns us in Proverbs 4:23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding your heart requires wisdom, and wisdom begins with discernment." When God doesn't want you to be with someone, He often places a restlessness in your spirit, a quiet but persistent nudge that something isn't right. This isn't about doubt caused by fleeting emotions or fears, but a deeper sense of misalignment that refuses to fade. Discernment helps you distinguish between what your heart desires and what God desires for you. Godly discernment is not a natural skill, it is cultivated through a relationship with God. When you spend time in prayer, immerse yourself in His Word, and seek His guidance, your ability to discern His voice grows stronger. This spiritual insight allows you to see beyond appearances and emotional connections. A relationship might seem perfect on the surface: compatible interests, mutual attraction, shared goals, but discernment digs deeper, exposing the spiritual foundation. Is this relationship built on God's principles, or is it merely a product of human desires? Discernment compels you to ask these hard questions. In situations where God doesn't want you with someone, discernment often highlights inconsistencies or red flags that others may overlook. For instance, the person may not share your faith or commitment to living a life that honors God. The Bible clearly states in 2 Corinthians 6:14, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers." This is not a condemnation of others, but a divine warning that differing spiritual paths can lead to conflict, confusion, and compromise. Discernment helps you recognize when a relationship is pulling you away from God rather than drawing you closer to Him. Sometimes discernment reveals itself through a lack of peace. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, 1 Corinthians 14:33. If your relationship is marked by constant anxiety, uncertainty, or unresolved conflict, it could be a sign that God is speaking to you. Discernment teaches you to listen to that inner unrest rather than ignore it or rationalize it away. It's easy to convince ourselves that things will improve over time or that we can change someone's heart. But true discernment reminds us that only God can transform a person. Another aspect of discernment is recognizing God's timing. Not every relationship is wrong, but some may be wrong for the season you're in. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. If you feel rushed or pressured into a relationship without clarity, discernment helps you pause and seek God's direction. A relationship rooted in God's timing will bear the fruit of patience and purpose, not haste and doubt. Discernment also helps you evaluate the spiritual fruit of a relationship. Jesus said in Matthew 7:16, "You will know them by their fruits." What fruit is this relationship producing in your life? Is it leading you to love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, and self-control? Galatians 5:22-23. Or is it stirring up jealousy, anger, insecurity, or selfishness? Discernment doesn't just focus on how the relationship makes you feel, but on how it shapes your character and spiritual walk. If the relationship consistently pulls you away from prayer, worship, or your God-given purpose, it may be a clear sign that it's not His will. A significant component of discernment is seeking counsel from mature believers. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors there is safety." Trusted mentors, pastors, or spiritually mature friends can provide perspectives that you might not see on your own sometimes. God uses the wisdom of others to confirm what He is already revealing to you through His Spirit. If those who genuinely care for your spiritual well-being express concerns about the relationship, it's worth prayerfully considering their input. Discernment also requires humility. It's easy to become so attached to what we want that we ignore what God is saying. Pride can blind us to the truth, convincing us that we know better, or that we can handle the challenges of an unhealthy relationship. But humility allows us to surrender our desires to God, trusting that His plans are better than our own. James 4:10 reminds us, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up." When you approach relationships with a humble heart, you open yourself to God's direction, even if it means letting go of someone you deeply care about. At times, discernment may lead to heartbreak, but even this is part of God's refining process. Letting go of a relationship that is not God's will can be painful, but it's a step toward the greater plans He has for you. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Trusting God's purpose requires faith, especially when His guidance doesn't align with your desires. Discernment helps you see the bigger picture, understanding that God's no is always for your protection and growth. Discernment is a call to action. Once God reveals that a relationship is not His will, obedience is required. Ignoring discernment can lead to prolonged pain and detours from your destiny. When you choose to act on God's guidance, you position yourself for His blessings and open the door to relationships that honor Him. Discernment is not just about identifying what's wrong, but about stepping into what's right, relationships that align with God's purpose and bring Him glory. Unequally yoked is a principle rooted deeply in Scripture, serving as a guideline for relationships that honor God's design for unity and purpose. In 2 Corinthians 6:14, Paul instructs believers, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness?" This metaphor of being yoked is derived from agricultural practices where two animals are bound together to plow a field. If the animals are mismatched in strength, size, or direction, their work becomes chaotic and unproductive. Similarly, relationships that lack spiritual alignment lead to strain, discord, and misdirection, ultimately hindering God's purpose for your life. When God doesn't want you with someone, being unequally yoked is often one of the most telling signs. It doesn't merely mean differing beliefs, but extends to values, priorities, and life's ultimate direction. A yoke ties two individuals together, and if one person is pulling toward God's purpose, while the other drifts toward worldly pursuits, the imbalance creates tension. This tension isn't just emotional or practical, it's deeply spiritual. God desires unity in relationships, a unity that strengthens, edifies, and glorifies Him. Without this foundation, the relationship can become a distraction or a source of spiritual compromise. Being unequally yoked can manifest in various ways. One common area is faith. If one person is deeply committed to living a Christ-centered life while the other is indifferent or opposed to spiritual growth, the relationship becomes a battlefield rather than a partnership. Amos 3:3 asks, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" The answer is no. A believer's journey is one of continual surrender and alignment with God's will, and if a partner does not share this commitment, it creates a divide that is difficult to bridge. This isn't about superiority or judgment, but recognizing the inherent challenges of building a relationship on different spiritual foundations. Another way unequally yoked relationships reveal themselves is through conflicting priorities. A person who is aligned with God's will prioritizes prayer, worship, service, and obedience to His word. However, a partner who lacks the same focus may encourage pursuits that divert attention from God. For example, if one person is passionate about ministry or living a purpose-driven life and the other is fixated on material gain or self-centered ambitions, the relationship becomes a tug of war. Instead of moving forward together, both individuals are pulled in opposite directions, making it difficult to achieve harmony. Sometimes being unequally yoked isn't immediately obvious. In the initial stages of a relationship, differences can seem minor or even complementary. Yet over time, these disparities become more pronounced, especially when challenges arise. For instance, how each person handles conflict, financial decisions, or moral dilemmas often reflects their underlying values. If one partner leans on biblical principles while the other relies on personal opinions or societal norms, the resulting friction can erode trust and intimacy. Discernment helps you identify these issues early, allowing you to evaluate whether the relationship aligns with God's plan. One of the most significant dangers of being unequally yoked is the risk of spiritual compromise. When you're deeply connected to someone who doesn't share your faith, there's often pressure to dilute your convictions for the sake of peace or acceptance. This could mean skipping church, neglecting prayer, or participating in activities that conflict with your beliefs. Over time, these small compromises can lead to a gradual drift away from God. Romans 12:2 warns, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Staying true to this transformation becomes difficult when your closest relationship pulls you in the opposite direction. God's command to avoid being unequally yoked is not meant to limit your options, but to protect your purpose. Relationships are powerful. They influence your decisions, shape your character, and impact your destiny. Proverbs 27:17 states, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." God's design for relationships is that they refine and strengthen you, drawing you closer to Him. When a relationship is unequally yoked, it does the opposite, dulling your spiritual edge and distracting you from your calling. Being unequally yoked isn't limited to romantic relationships. It can also apply to friendships, business partnerships, or any significant connection. However, in the context of romantic relationships, the stakes are particularly high. Marriage, as described in Ephesians 5:31, is a union where two become one flesh. This oneness requires more than physical or emotional compatibility. It demands spiritual unity. Without this unity, the marriage is vulnerable to division, as the two individuals are not anchored by the same spiritual foundation. God's instruction to avoid being unequally yoked is a safeguard for the sanctity and strength of this covenant. For those already in an unequally yoked relationship, the journey can be challenging. While God can work in any situation, His desire is for both individuals to come into alignment with His will. Prayer becomes essential, not only for the relationship but also for clarity and strength to follow God's guidance. If the relationship is not yet a covenant like marriage, it's crucial to seek God's wisdom and consider whether continuing it is in line with His purpose. Sometimes the most loving act is to let go, trusting that God has a plan for both individuals. God's desire for equally yoked relationships is ultimately about His love for you. He knows the burdens and pain that come with mismatched partnerships, and His guidance is meant to lead you into relationships that reflect His design. When God reveals that a relationship is unequally yoked, it's an invitation to trust Him, even if it means walking away. His plans are always for your good, even when they require sacrifice. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Walking in obedience to God's guidance regarding being unequally yoked isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. The temporary discomfort of ending a relationship pales in comparison to the peace and purpose found in following His will. As you seek to honor God in your relationships, remember that He is faithful to provide the wisdom, strength, and clarity you need. Trust that His guidance is not a restriction, but a pathway to the abundant life He has promised. God's will is the cornerstone of every decision we make as believers. It is the ultimate guide to navigating the complexities of life, particularly when it comes to relationships. When you align your choices with God's will, you walk in His protection, provision, and purpose. However, when you stray from His will, even with the best intentions, the result can be confusion, heartbreak, and delay in reaching the destiny He has designed for you. This is especially true in relationships, where emotions often cloud judgment. When God doesn't want you to be with someone, His will becomes your compass, steering you away from what may seem desirable but is ultimately not meant for you. Understanding God's will begins with surrender. It requires letting go of personal desires and trusting that His plans are better than yours. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. This promise assures that God's will is never to harm us, but to lead us into something greater. Yet this often means relinquishing relationships that don't align with His purpose. The process can be painful, especially when you're emotionally invested. But obedience to God's will always leads to blessings far greater than what you could imagine. One way God reveals His will is through His Word. Scripture serves as a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, Psalm 119:105, offering clarity and direction. If a relationship conflicts with biblical principles, it is a clear sign that it is not God's will. For example, 2 Corinthians 6:14 warns against being unequally yoked with unbelievers, emphasizing the importance of spiritual alignment in relationships. While emotions may argue otherwise, God's word stands as the unchanging standard of His will. Disregarding this guidance often leads to unnecessary struggle, as you try to make something work that was never intended to flourish. God's will is also revealed through the peace He gives or withholds. Colossians 3:15 reminds us, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." When you're in alignment with God's will, His peace acts as a confirmation. Conversely, a lack of peace can be His way of redirecting you. If a relationship is marked by constant turmoil, doubt, or unease, it may be God's way of saying it is not His will for you. Ignoring these signs often results in prolonged emotional strain as you wrestle with a situation that God has already resolved in His divine plan. Sometimes God's will becomes evident through circumstances. Doors may close, communication may break down, or plans may fail despite your best efforts. These obstacles are not always random. They can be God's way of protecting you from something that is not meant for you. Proverbs 19:21 reminds us, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Trusting that His purpose prevails requires faith, especially when you don't understand why things aren't working out. However, every closed door is an opportunity to seek God's will more earnestly, trusting that His plans are far better than your own. Obedience to God's will often requires courage, particularly when it involves walking away from someone you care about. The heart wants what it wants, but Scripture reminds us in Proverbs 3:5-6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Submission to God's will means choosing faith over feelings and trusting that His understanding far exceeds your own. This act of surrender is not a sign of weakness but of spiritual maturity, as you place your trust in the one who knows the end from the beginning. God's will is also tied to His timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 teaches, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." A relationship may not necessarily be wrong, but it could be wrong for the current season of your life. God may be preparing you or the other person for what lies ahead, and rushing His timing can lead to unnecessary pain. Waiting on God's will requires patience and faith, knowing that His timing is perfect. When you allow Him to lead, He orchestrates everything in a way that brings glory to Him and fulfillment to you. Another critical aspect of discerning God's will is prayer. James 1:5 encourages us, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Prayer is the avenue through which we align our hearts with God's will. It is in the quiet moments of communion with Him that He reveals His plans, confirms His direction, and provides the strength to follow through. If you are unsure about a relationship, seek God in prayer and trust that He will guide you. He may not provide immediate clarity, but His answers will always come at the right time. God's will is not always easy to accept, especially when it requires letting go. However, letting go is often the first step towards something greater. Philippians 3:13-14 reminds us, "Forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." Letting go of a relationship that is not God's will frees you to pursue His higher calling. It is an act of faith, trusting that His plans are not only better but also eternal. Ultimately, God's will is rooted in His love for you. He desires relationships that reflect His love, honor His name, and fulfill His purpose. When He removes someone from your life or closes the door on a relationship, it is not an act of punishment but of protection and preparation. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Trusting in this promise gives you the strength to align your choices with His will, even when it's difficult. Walking in God's will requires continual surrender, trust, and obedience. It is not always the easiest path, but it is always the most fulfilling. Relationships are a significant part of God's plan for your life, and aligning them with His will ensures that they contribute to your growth, joy, and ultimate purpose. When God's will guides your relationships, they become a reflection of His love, a source of strength, and a testimony to His goodness. Trusting His will, even when it means letting go, positions you to receive the blessings He has prepared for you. Your life is not an accident, it is designed with intention, purpose, and a destiny woven by the hands of God. Every choice you make, every step you take, must align with the divine purpose He has set for you. Relationships, in particular, are deeply connected to that purpose. Who you join your life with has the potential to propel you closer to fulfilling God's plans or to divert you from them entirely. When God doesn't want you to be with someone, it's often because that person does not align with the divine purpose He has established for your life. Understanding this is crucial to discerning when to hold on and when to let go. God's divine purpose for you is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. Ephesians 2:10 reminds us, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." This verse emphasizes that God has prepared a unique plan for you long before you were born. To fulfill that plan, every aspect of your life must align with His will, including your relationships. If a relationship distracts you from pursuing God or distorts your understanding of His truth, it is a sign that it is not aligned with His divine purpose. Your divine purpose is intricately tied to your identity in Christ. Relationships that pull you away from that identity threaten your ability to fulfill God's plan. For instance, if being with someone causes you to compromise your values, neglect your spiritual growth, or prioritize them above God, it's a clear indication that the relationship is not part of His purpose for you. Matthew 6:33 exhorts us to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. When a relationship hinders your ability to seek God first, it's a warning that it is not divinely ordained. God's divine purpose is often revealed through the fruit it produces in your life. Galatians 5:22-23 outlines the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. A relationship that aligns with God's purpose will nurture these qualities within you. On the other hand, a relationship marked by strife, confusion, or constant conflict is a sign that it is not fulfilling God's intended purpose for you. Such relationships can distract you from the work He has called you to do, draining your energy and focus on things that do not contribute to your spiritual growth. God often removes relationships that hinder your divine purpose, even when it's painful. The pruning process described in John 15:2, He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful, is a necessary part of aligning your life with His plan. Pruning involves letting go of relationships that may seem good on the surface, but ultimately do not contribute to the fulfillment of your purpose. Though it may hurt initially, the end result is a life that is more fruitful and aligned with God's will. Understanding divine purpose requires spiritual maturity and discernment. You must learn to recognize when a relationship is leading you closer to God's purpose or pulling you away from it. Romans 12:2 urges us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." By renewing your mind through prayer, study of the Word, and seeking wise counsel, you gain clarity about whether a relationship aligns with your divine purpose or stands in opposition to it. Sometimes relationships that seem ideal are not part of God's purpose for you. This can be confusing, especially when everything appears to be going well on the surface. But Proverbs 14:12 warns, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." What seems right to you in the moment may not align with God's eternal perspective. Trusting His judgment over your own emotions and desires is essential to staying aligned with His purpose. Even when you don't understand why a relationship isn't working, Faith assures you that God sees the bigger picture and is protecting you from what you cannot see. The people you allow into your life should be partners in your purpose, not obstacles to it. Amos 3:3 asks, "Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so?" Agreement in purpose is vital in relationships. If someone's goals, values, or priorities conflict with your divine purpose, it creates a disconnect that can hinder your progress. Relationships that are not aligned with God's purpose for you often lead to frustration and stagnation, as you struggle to reconcile differences that were never meant to exist. Recognizing this early can save you from unnecessary pain and delay in fulfilling God's plans. Pursuing God's purpose often requires sacrifice. Abraham's willingness to leave his homeland, as described in Genesis 12:1-4, is a powerful example of trusting God's plan over personal comfort. Similarly, letting go of a relationship that is not part of God's purpose requires faith that He will provide something far greater. Hebrews 11:6 reminds us that without faith, it is impossible to please God. Trusting God enough to release what is not meant for you is an act of faith that positions you to receive His best for your life. It demonstrates your commitment to His purpose above your own desires. God's divine purpose for you is not just about your individual journey, it is also about the impact you have on others. Relationships that distract you from your purpose can limit your ability to influence others for Christ. Matthew 5:16 encourages us, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." When a relationship dims your light or causes you to compromise your witness, it's a sign that it is not aligned with God's plan. Choosing relationships that enhance your ability to glorify God ensures that your life fulfills its divine purpose. In moments of uncertainty, prayer becomes your lifeline to discerning God's purpose. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Prayer provides the clarity and peace needed to make difficult decisions, including letting go of relationships that do not align with God's purpose. It is through prayer that you align your will with His, gaining the strength and confidence to follow His lead. God's divine purpose is a reflection of His love and sovereignty. He does not withhold good things from His children, Psalm 84:11, but He does remove what is not good for them. Trusting His purpose means believing that every relationship He allows or disallows is part of His greater plan for your life. Even when it's difficult, aligning with His purpose brings lasting peace, joy, and fulfillment that far surpass anything you could achieve on your own. It is in walking according to His purpose that you find the true meaning of your life and the relationships He has prepared for you. Spiritual alignment is the cornerstone of any relationship that seeks to honor God and fulfill His purpose. It is not merely about sharing the same beliefs, but about walking in harmony with someone whose heart, mind, and spirit align with God's will for your life. When God does not want you with someone, it is often because the spiritual connection is absent or misaligned. This lack of alignment can lead to discord and hinder both partners from living out their divine purpose. True spiritual alignment begins with being equally yoked. As outlined in 2 Corinthians 6:14, "Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness?" This verse is a guiding principle for relationships. When one person's values, priorities, and spiritual journey are incompatible with the others, the relationship becomes a struggle rather than a partnership. Even when both individuals profess faith, a deeper level of spiritual alignment is needed to ensure their relationship glorifies God. God designs relationships to reflect His love and truth. When a relationship lacks spiritual alignment, it can distort the image of God's intent for love and unity. Amos 3:3 poses the critical question, can two walk together unless they are agreed? Agreement in spiritual matters creates a foundation of trust, understanding, and shared vision. Without this foundation, the relationship may lead to confusion, compromise, and a weakening of one's faith. This misalignment can manifest in subtle ways, such as differing views on prayer, worship, or the importance of serving others. Over time, these differences can grow into significant barriers to spiritual growth. God often uses relationships to shape and refine us, but He will not call us into a union that compromises our faith or contradicts His word. Proverbs 27:17 states, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." A relationship aligned with God's purpose will encourage mutual spiritual growth, accountability, and a deeper commitment to God. When this sharpening effect is absent, it may indicate that the relationship is not spiritually aligned. Instead of building each other up, the individuals may inadvertently lead one another away from God's best. Spiritual alignment requires both individuals to be grounded in their identity in Christ. Ephesians 4:1 urges believers to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. This calling involves growing in faith, practicing humility, and pursuing righteousness. When one person is committed to this calling and the other is not, it creates an imbalance that can hinder the relationship's ability to thrive. God's desire is for both individuals to walk in unity, supporting one another in their faith journeys. A lack of spiritual alignment disrupts this unity and can lead to frustration and unmet expectations. In relationships, spiritual alignment also involves shared priorities. Matthew 6:33 instructs us to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. A relationship aligned with God's will prioritizes His kingdom above all else. This means both individuals are committed to placing God at the center of their lives, making decisions that honor Him, and pursuing His purpose together. When one person's focus is on worldly desires while the other seeks to follow God, the relationship becomes misaligned. This disconnect can lead to conflict, as the two struggle to reconcile their differing priorities and visions for the future. God's plan for spiritual alignment is not limited to avoiding unequally yoked relationships. It also involves recognizing when a seemingly good relationship is not God's best for you. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." A relationship may appear perfect on the surface, but if it does not align with God's steps for your life, it will ultimately lead to dissatisfaction and unfulfilled purpose. Trusting God's wisdom over your own understanding is essential to discerning whether a relationship aligns with His will. Spiritual alignment is tested through trials and challenges. James 1:2-3 encourages believers to consider trials as opportunities for growth, stating, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." A relationship aligned with God's purpose will withstand challenges and grow stronger in the face of adversity. However, a relationship lacking spiritual alignment may crumble under pressure, revealing its inability to fulfill God's plan. Trials often expose the true nature of a relationship, helping you discern whether it is divinely ordained. Prayer is a vital aspect of spiritual alignment. Philippians 4:6-7 instructs us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." A relationship grounded in prayer fosters spiritual intimacy and alignment. When both individuals seek God together, they invite His presence and guidance into their relationship. Conversely, a lack of shared prayer life can signal spiritual disconnection. If one partner resists or neglects prayer, it may indicate that the relationship is not spiritually aligned. God desires relationships that draw people closer to Him, not further away. God often reveals misalignment through a lack of peace. Colossians 3:15 advises, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." When a relationship is spiritually aligned, it is marked by a sense of peace that transcends circumstances. This peace comes from knowing that the relationship is in harmony with God's will. On the other hand, a relationship fraught with anxiety, uncertainty, or inner turmoil may signal spiritual misalignment. God's peace acts as a compass, guiding you toward relationships that honor Him and away from those that do not. Spiritual alignment also involves mutual submission to God's authority. Ephesians 5:21 exhorts believers to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. This submission requires humility, respect, and a willingness to put God's will above personal desires. A relationship aligned with God's purpose will reflect this mutual submission, as both individuals seek to honor God in their actions and decisions. When one person resists submission to God, it creates an imbalance that can lead to tension and spiritual stagnation. Recognizing this imbalance is key to discerning whether a relationship aligns with God's plan. Spiritual alignment is about walking in step with God and with one another. Galatians 5:25 states, "Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit." A relationship aligned with God's purpose will be marked by unity, harmony, and a shared commitment to living by the Spirit. When a relationship lacks these qualities, it may be a sign that it is not spiritually aligned. Trusting God to guide you toward relationships that align with His will ensures that your life and partnerships reflect His glory. In every relationship, God calls us to seek His wisdom and align our hearts with His will. When He does not want you with someone, it is not an act of denial but one of divine protection and purpose. Through discernment, God reveals the true nature of the connection, ensuring it aligns with His plans for your life. Being unequally yoked can lead to spiritual compromise, while alignment with His will ensures that your steps are directed toward His purpose. A relationship that detracts from your divine calling or distracts you from God's purpose is not meant to flourish. God desires relationships that reflect His glory, deepen your faith, and support your spiritual growth. He uses divine purpose as a compass, guiding you toward connections that honor Him and fulfill His plan for your life. Spiritual alignment is the foundation of such partnerships, fostering unity, peace, and shared devotion to God. Trust in God's timing and wisdom, knowing that His plans for you are good and perfect. Surrender your relationships to Him, and He will lead you to what is best. In doing so, you will experience the joy and fulfillment of a relationship that glorifies God and reflects His love. God's chosen ones, have you ever felt a stirring deep within, a gentle whisper of destiny calling your name? You who walk this path of faith and inner knowing are not here by accident. You are here by divine design, carefully chosen for a purpose greater than you might yet comprehend. Your journey has been paved with challenges, moments of uncertainty, and nights of silent tears. But even in your darkest hour, the light of abundance has been quietly preparing itself for you. There is a sacred principle woven into the fabric of creation, as within, so without. The wealth you seek, the prosperity you yearn for, is already alive within your spirit. It exists not in some far-off place, but in the sanctuary of your imagination. Close your eyes and envision it now. See yourself walking in abundance, surrounded by the fruits of your divine inheritance. Feel the joy of it, the gratitude swelling in your heart. This is not a dream, it is a reality waiting for your acceptance. Many will doubt. They may look at your current circumstances and question how such abundance could ever be possible. But you are not defined by what they see, you are defined by what God has declared. The riches you are about to receive are not for vanity or fleeting satisfaction. They are tools, sacred resources meant to elevate not only your life but also the lives of others. You have been chosen as a vessel of God's blessings, a beacon to show the world His limitless grace. Do not let fear or feelings of unworthiness cloud your heart. God's blessings do not depend on your past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. They flow from His love and His promise, which are eternal and unchanging. What you must do is prepare yourself to receive. Align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with the reality of your blessings. Speak life into your situation. Say, I am chosen, I am wealthy, I am a steward of divine abundance. And as you say it, believe it. Look around you. Even now, signs of your breakthrough are appearing. They may come as a sudden idea, a chance meeting, or an unexpected opportunity. These are not coincidences, they are God's gentle nudges, guiding you toward your inheritance. Pay attention and act with faith. For those who trust in God's timing and move in obedience, the path to riches unfolds with ease and grace. Know this: the moment you accept your blessings, they begin to manifest. It is not the world that must change, first it is you. When you transform your inner world, the outer world has no choice but to follow. The kingdom of God is within you, and from that kingdom flows every good thing. Accept it, claim it, rejoice in it, for you are about to witness the power of divine abundance in your life like never before. You are not here by accident. The very essence of your being is woven into the grand tapestry of divine intention, and your existence is proof that you are part of a larger purposeful plan. In the eyes of God, you are unique, set apart, and chosen. This is not a mere sentiment to uplift you temporarily, it is the truth that resides at the core of your creation. You are divinely selected, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are, God's cherished creation. Before the foundation of the world, you were known. In the vastness of eternity, God looked upon you and saw not just who you are, but the fullness of what you could become. This divine selection is not about merit or works, but about grace and love. It is the Creator's way of reminding you that your life is significant, meaningful, and essential to the unfolding of His grand design. Your uniqueness is not a coincidence, it is a deliberate act of divine craftsmanship, shaping you to fulfill a role that only you can perform. Many people walk through life unaware of this profound truth. They are burdened by the opinions of others, weighed down by past mistakes, or blinded by the temporary challenges they face. But the divine selection that marks your life is unshaken by these things. Your worth does not fluctuate based on the ups and downs of life. It is anchored in God's eternal promise. When you begin to recognize this, your perspective shifts. You stop seeing yourself as insignificant and start realizing that you are part of something far greater than you could ever imagine. The challenges you have faced were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to refine you. Like gold that is purified in fire, trials are a part of the process that prepares you for the blessings ahead. Every moment of struggle has been allowed by God to shape you into the person who can carry the weight of His blessings. You are being prepared to step into a position of greatness, one that has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. Think of the many figures throughout history who were chosen by God. Their paths were never simple, and their selection was often met with resistance, doubt, and hardship. Yet, in every case, their selection brought about transformation not just in their lives, but in the lives of those around them. You are no different. Your selection carries with it the power to influence and change the world in ways you may not yet comprehend. But it begins with understanding that you are chosen. This selection is not something you need to earn. It is not based on your qualifications, your achievements, or even your righteousness. It is based solely on God's love for you. The Creator does not see you as the world sees you. Where others may see flaws, God sees potential. Where others may see limitations, He sees opportunities for His power to shine through. Your divine selection is a testament to His ability to use anyone, regardless of their past, to accomplish great and mighty things. There is a profound responsibility that comes with being chosen. It is not a burden, but a call to rise above the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. It is an invitation to walk in alignment with God's will, trusting that He who has chosen you will also equip you. You may feel inadequate at times, unworthy even. But those feelings are not from God. He has declared you worthy, capable, and ready. Your role is to believe in what He has already said about you and act accordingly. You are not alone in this journey. God's selection is accompanied by His provision, guidance, and protection. He has already placed within you everything you need to succeed. The gifts, talents, and abilities you possess are not random, they are intentionally placed within you to fulfill your purpose. When you begin to embrace this truth, you stop comparing yourself to others. You stop doubting your capabilities. Instead, you step boldly into the identity of someone who is divinely chosen and equipped for greatness. This process requires faith. It requires you to trust in the unseen, to believe in the promises of God, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. Faith is the bridge that connects your selection to the manifestation of your purpose. Without it, you may struggle to see the fullness of what God has for you. But with faith, all things are possible. Faith allows you to walk confidently in the knowledge that you are chosen, even when the path ahead is unclear. Being chosen by God also means that you are called to be a light in a world that desperately needs hope. Your life is a testimony of His goodness, a reflection of His love. People will look at you and see the evidence of what it means to be selected by God. They will be inspired by your journey, encouraged by your faith, and uplifted by your perseverance. This is part of the responsibility and the privilege of being chosen. You are not just chosen for yourself, you are chosen to be a blessing to others. As you walk in this truth, you will encounter opposition. The enemy does not want you to realize your divine selection. He will attempt to sow seeds of doubt, fear, and discouragement. But remember, greater is He who is in you than he who is in the world. The power of God within you is far greater than any obstacle you will face. Stand firm in your faith, knowing that your selection is secure and that nothing can separate you from the love of God. You must also understand that being chosen is a process. It is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey of growth, discovery, and transformation. Each step you take brings you closer to the fullness of God's plan for your life. There will be moments of uncertainty, but those moments are opportunities to trust in God's timing and sovereignty. Every delay, every detour, every challenge is part of the process that prepares you for what is to come. When you embrace your selection, you begin to see life differently. You no longer view setbacks as failures but as stepping stones. You no longer see obstacles as insurmountable, but as opportunities for God to show His power. Your focus shifts from what you lack to what you have been given. You start to live with a sense of purpose, knowing that your life has meaning and that you are part of something far greater than yourself. You are chosen not just for a moment, but for eternity. This is the truth that should guide your every decision, your every action, your every thought. Live in the knowledge that you are not ordinary. You are extraordinary because God has called you by name and set you apart for His glory. Let this truth sink deep into your heart and shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. You are divinely selected, and nothing can change that. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you embody. The essence of abundance begins within, long before it materializes in the world around you. Every outward manifestation of wealth and success is first conceived in the inner sanctuary of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Your life is not a product of chance, but a reflection of the energy you hold within. The world you see and experience is a mirror, faithfully reflecting the reality you cultivate in your mind and spirit. Within you lies a vast creative power, one that is capable of shaping your destiny. This power does not respond to fleeting desires or half-hearted wishes, it responds to the deep, unwavering conviction of your inner state. If you believe yourself to be wealthy, to be abundant, to be capable, the world has no choice but to align with that belief. It is not a matter of wishful thinking, but a divine law of creation as within, so without. Many people misunderstand this truth. They look to the external world for validation, waiting for circumstances to change before they feel wealthy or successful. But this is putting the cart before the horse. The outer world is but a shadow, a projection of the inner world. To change your outer reality, you must first transform your inner reality. The mind is the workshop where all wealth is created, and the emotions are the fuel that drives this creation. When your thoughts and feelings are aligned with abundance, the outer world must eventually conform to that state. Wealth begins in the mind as an idea, a vision, or a belief. It is nurtured by your imagination, where you see yourself living in abundance, experiencing prosperity, and enjoying the fruits of your divine inheritance. Imagination is not mere fantasy, it is the blueprint of creation. What you vividly imagine and consistently feel will inevitably find its way into your reality. This is why it is said, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is not blind optimism, it is the certainty of things unseen but deeply known within. Your emotions play a pivotal role in this process. They are the magnetic force that attracts the substance of your thoughts into physical form. If your thoughts are abundant but your feelings are rooted in lack, fear, or doubt, the creative process is disrupted. It is not enough to think about wealth, you must feel wealthy. You must cultivate the emotions of gratitude, joy, and satisfaction as though the wealth you desire is already yours. These emotions send a powerful signal to the universe, aligning circumstances, opportunities, and people to bring your vision to life. The process of creating outer wealth begins with a profound sense of awareness. You must become aware of the beliefs and thoughts you hold about money, success, and abundance. Many people carry limiting beliefs inherited from their upbringing or shaped by past experiences. They believe that wealth is hard to attain, that they are undeserving of success, or that scarcity is the natural order of life. These beliefs act as barriers, blocking the flow of abundance into their lives. To create a new outer reality, you must first dismantle these false beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. The truth is that you are already abundant. The Creator has endowed you with infinite potential, with talents, skills, and ideas that are uniquely yours. You are not here to struggle or to live in lack. You are here to thrive and to reflect the limitless nature of God's provision. When you begin to see yourself as a vessel of divine abundance, you step into your true identity. This shift in perspective transforms your relationship with wealth. It is no longer something distant or elusive, but a natural extension of who you are. As you cultivate this inner reality, you will notice changes in your outer world. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will present themselves. Doors that were closed will begin to open. The people and resources you need will be drawn to you, not by chance, but by the magnetic power of your belief and emotion. This is not magic, it is the law of creation in action. Your inner state shapes the energy you emit, and this energy influences the world around you. It is important to understand that the process of creating wealth is not instantaneous. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the wealth you envision within must be nurtured and cultivated before it manifests. This requires patience, faith, and persistence. There may be moments of doubt when the outer world does not yet reflect the wealth you feel within. In these moments, it is crucial to remain steadfast in your belief. Trust that the process is unfolding as it should, and continue to align your thoughts and emotions with abundance. Gratitude is a powerful tool in this process. When you express gratitude for what you already have, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude amplifies the energy of wealth within you, creating a ripple effect that extends into the world around you. Even before your outer circumstances change, gratitude allows you to feel the joy and fulfillment of abundance. This feeling becomes a magnet, drawing more reasons for gratitude into your life. Another key aspect of creating inner wealth is aligning your actions with your beliefs. It is not enough to think and feel wealthy, you must also act as though your abundance is already real. This does not mean living beyond your means or pretending to be something you are not. It means making decisions from a place of confidence and faith, trusting that your needs will be met and that opportunities for growth will continue to arise. When your actions reflect your inner state, you reinforce the reality of your wealth and accelerate its manifestation. The journey of creating outer wealth from inner reality is deeply personal. It requires self-reflection, a willingness to challenge old patterns, and a commitment to growth. But it is also profoundly liberating. When you realize that the source of all wealth lies within you, you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You become the creator of your own destiny, empowered to shape your life according to your highest vision. This journey is not just about material wealth. True abundance encompasses every area of life: health, relationships, purpose, and spiritual fulfillment. As you cultivate an inner state of abundance, you will find that your outer world reflects this wholeness. Wealth is not just about what you have, it is about who you become in the process. It is about living in alignment with the truth of your divine nature and sharing that truth with the world. You are not a passive observer in the creation of your life. You are an active participant, a co-creator with God. The power to create wealth is already within you, waiting to be awakened. When you embrace this truth, you step into a life of unlimited possibilities. Your inner reality becomes the foundation upon which your outer world is built, and the wealth you desire flows effortlessly from this alignment. Trust in the process, believe in your power, and know that the abundance you seek is already yours. Faith is the cornerstone of every significant transformation, a force that surpasses human reasoning and transcends the limitations of the visible world. It is a power that does not waver in the face of circumstances, no matter how daunting or seemingly immovable they may appear. Faith operates beyond the natural realm. It calls forth the unseen into existence and moves mountains where logic says they cannot be moved. It is not merely belief, but a deep, unshakable conviction that what is promised will come to pass, irrespective of the current state of affairs. When faced with challenges, it is easy to succumb to doubt, fear, or despair. The world often tells us that our circumstances define us, that what we see and experience is the ultimate truth. Yet faith tells a different story. It whispers that the visible is temporary and that the unseen holds the true essence of reality. Faith allows you to stand firm when everything around you suggests otherwise. It is the inner assurance that, despite the storm, the sun will shine again. Despite the desert, a spring will flow. Faith is not blind optimism or naive hope. It is rooted in a profound understanding of divine principles. The Creator, in infinite wisdom, designed a universe that responds to faith. This is evident in every scripture, in every story of victory against impossible odds. When you activate faith, you align yourself with these divine laws, setting into motion forces far greater than any human effort. Faith does not ignore circumstances, it simply refuses to let them dictate the outcome. It sees beyond the momentary trial and focuses on the promise yet to be fulfilled. The most remarkable aspect of faith is its ability to reshape reality. The circumstances you see today are not permanent, they are malleable, subject to the creative power of your belief. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the bridge between the spiritual and the physical, drawing into your life the very essence of what you deeply believe. To live by faith is to understand that you are not limited by what your eyes perceive, but are empowered by what your spirit knows to be true. In the face of adversity, faith acts as an anchor. Life may present storms, financial difficulties, health challenges, broken relationships, or lost opportunities, but faith grounds you in the certainty that you are not alone and that a higher power is at work. The circumstances may test your resolve, but faith strengthens it. It reminds you that the power within you is far greater than the obstacles before you. This is not just theoretical, it is a living truth that countless individuals have experienced throughout history. Faith requires persistence. It is not a fleeting feeling, but a deliberate choice made moment by moment. When circumstances seem overwhelming, the easiest response is to retreat, to give in to the narrative of defeat. Yet faith challenges you to stand firm, to hold on to the vision of what is possible, even when there is no evidence to support it. This persistence is not stubbornness, but a reflection of trust in the divine process. It is the belief that every delay has a purpose, every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. The cultivation of faith begins within. It starts with a decision to see beyond what is visible and to trust in the unseen. This trust is not passive but active, requiring you to align your thoughts, words, and actions with the reality you desire. Faith is not merely about waiting for things to change, it is about participating in the change, knowing that your efforts, guided by divine wisdom, will bear fruit. When you act in faith, you demonstrate your confidence in the outcome, even before it manifests. Circumstances often appear insurmountable because they are viewed through the lens of limitation. Faith, however, shifts your perspective. It allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to find solutions where others find problems. This shift in perspective is not just a mental exercise, but a spiritual awakening. Faith connects you to the infinite possibilities available to you, enabling you to tap into resources, ideas, and strength you never knew you had. Faith also transforms the way you respond to challenges. Instead of reacting with fear or frustration, you approach difficulties with a sense of calm and assurance. This is not because the challenges are less significant, but because you recognize that they are temporary and that you have the power to overcome them. Faith empowers you to face the storm with courage, knowing that it cannot last forever and that you will emerge stronger on the other side. The beauty of faith is that it grows stronger with use. Every time you choose faith over fear, you reinforce your ability to trust in the unseen. Each victory, no matter how small, becomes a testimony to the power of faith, building your confidence for the next challenge. This is why faith is often described as a journey. It is a continuous process of growth and discovery. As you walk in faith, you learn to rely less on your own strength and more on the infinite strength of the Creator. Faith also has a profound impact on those around you. When you live a life of faith, you become a beacon of hope and inspiration. Your courage in the face of adversity encourages others to believe in their own potential. Your unwavering trust in the divine process reminds them that they too can overcome their circumstances. Faith is not just a personal journey, it is a gift you give to the world, a testimony to the power of belief. Faith is a declaration of your divine identity. It affirms that you are more than your circumstances, that you are a co-creator with the Creator, endowed with the power to shape your reality. This understanding transforms the way you see yourself and the world around you. You are not a victim of circumstance, but a victor, equipped with everything you need to overcome any challenge. This realization is liberating, empowering you to live boldly and confidently, regardless of the obstacles you face. Faith is about alignment with the divine purpose for your life, with the principles of creation, and with the truth of who you are. When you live in alignment, circumstances lose their power to dictate your destiny. You become a master of your reality, guided by the unwavering assurance that all things are working together for your good. Faith is not just a belief, it is a way of life, a choice to see beyond the surface and to trust in the infinite possibilities that lie within and around you. Blessings are never accidental. They are intentional gifts from the divine, woven into the fabric of your life with the precision of a masterful plan. Every blessing you receive carries with it a purpose, a divine mission uniquely designed for you. These blessings are not merely for your enjoyment or personal gain, but they serve as tools and opportunities to fulfill a higher calling. They are both a reflection of the love of the Creator and an invitation to align your life with a greater purpose. Recognizing the purpose behind your blessings requires a shift in perspective. Too often we view blessings as isolated events, moments of favor that come and go without deeper meaning. But in truth, every blessing is a thread in a larger tapestry, a piece of a divine puzzle that, when completed, reveals the beauty and majesty of your life's purpose. To understand this is to move beyond the surface and to see blessings not just as gifts but as responsibilities, as opportunities to grow, to serve, and to contribute to the world around you. Purposeful blessings are designed to expand you. They challenge you to rise above your current state, to step into the fullness of who you are meant to be. They call you to develop your talents, to strengthen your character, and to refine your vision. Every blessing carries within it the seeds of potential, and it is your task to nurture these seeds, to allow them to flourish and bear fruit. This process is not always easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. It requires faith, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. Blessings with purpose are not confined to material wealth or outward success. While these can be part of the equation, the true essence of a blessing lies in its ability to transform your inner world. A blessing may come in the form of a challenge that teaches you resilience, a loss that deepens your compassion, or a relationship that helps you discover unconditional love. These experiences, though they may not initially appear as blessings, are part of the divine plan to shape you into the person you are meant to become. When you receive a blessing, it is not just for you. The Creator's intention is always expansive, always inclusive. Your blessings are meant to ripple outward, to touch the lives of others, and to create a positive impact in the world. This is the principle of abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. When you use your blessings to uplift others, you align yourself with the divine flow, opening the door to even greater blessings. This is not a transaction, but a natural result of living in harmony with divine principles. Understanding the purpose of your blessings also involves gratitude. Gratitude is more than a feeling, it is an acknowledgement of the source of your blessings and a commitment to honor them. When you express gratitude, you affirm that your blessings are not random but intentional, that they are part of a divine plan that is unfolding perfectly. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating a mindset of abundance and opening your heart to receive even more. Blessings often come with lessons. These lessons are not punishments but gifts, designed to guide you toward your purpose. They teach you humility, patience, and trust. They remind you that the journey is as important as the destination, that the process of receiving and understanding your blessings is what shapes you into the person you are meant to be. Embracing these lessons requires an open heart and a willingness to see beyond the surface, to trust that even the challenges are part of the blessing. Living with the awareness that your blessings have a purpose transforms the way you experience life. It allows you to see every moment, every opportunity, and every challenge as part of a divine plan. This perspective brings peace, joy, and a sense of fulfillment that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. It reminds you that you are not alone, that you are guided and supported by a power greater than yourself. Your blessings are a reflection of your divine identity. They affirm that you are loved, valued, and chosen. They are a testament to the fact that you have a unique role to play in the unfolding of the divine plan. When you embrace this truth, you begin to see yourself and your life in a new light. You recognize that your blessings are not just about what you receive, but about who you are becoming. To live with purpose is to honor your blessings and to use them in service of the greater good. It is to recognize that your life is part of something much larger, something beautiful and profound. This awareness brings a sense of responsibility, not as a burden, but as a privilege. It allows you to step into your true power, to live with intention, and to make a meaningful difference in the world. Blessings with purpose are a divine invitation to co-create with the Creator. They call you to step into your role as a steward of divine gifts, to use your resources, talents, and experiences to bring light into the world. This is not just about doing, but about being, about embodying the love, wisdom, and creativity that are the essence of the Creator. It is about living in alignment with your highest self and fulfilling the divine purpose for which you were created. When you understand that your blessings have a purpose, you begin to see life as a sacred journey. Every step, every moment, every experience becomes meaningful. You no longer chase after blessings, but trust that they will come to you in perfect timing, as part of the divine plan. This trust brings peace, allowing you to focus on the present moment and to live fully, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Blessings are a reminder of the Creator's infinite love and wisdom. They are a testament to the fact that you are never forgotten, that you are always seen and valued. They are a promise that no matter what challenges you face, you are supported and guided every step of the way. This knowledge brings hope, strength, and courage, empowering you to live with purpose and to embrace the fullness of your life. In receiving your blessings, you are called to step into a new level of faith, trust, and action. You are called to align yourself with the divine purpose for your life, to use your blessings to create beauty, joy, and abundance in the world. This is the essence of living a purposeful life. A life that reflects the love and wisdom of the Creator and fulfills the divine plan for which you were created. Preparation to receive is as vital as the blessing itself. Just as a farmer prepares the soil before planting seeds, you must ready your mind, heart, and spirit to receive the abundance that the divine intends for you. Blessings are not merely bestowed upon you, they are aligned with your readiness and capacity to handle them. The process of preparation transforms you into a vessel capable of holding and nurturing the gifts you are destined to receive. The first step in preparation is cultivating a mindset of faith and expectancy. Faith is the foundation upon which all blessings rest. Without it, the greatest opportunities might pass unnoticed, like seeds falling on rocky ground. Faith is not wishful thinking, it is the deep, unshakable conviction that what is promised to you will come to pass. This conviction shapes your inner world, creating a fertile ground for blessings to manifest. Expectancy fuels your actions, motivating you to align your life with the blessings you seek. When you prepare in faith, you act as though the blessing is already yours, even before it arrives. Self-awareness is another key element of preparation. You must examine your beliefs, thoughts, and actions to ensure they align with the life you desire. Often people unknowingly carry limiting beliefs that block the flow of blessings. Doubts, fears, and feelings of unworthiness can create barriers between you and your destiny. Preparation involves identifying these obstacles and replacing them with empowering beliefs, rooted in truth and love. You are worthy of every good thing, and your preparation is an affirmation of this truth. Gratitude plays a transformative role in preparing to receive. Gratitude is not reserved for what you already have, but extends to what is on its way. By expressing gratitude for your blessings in advance, you signal to the divine that you are ready to receive. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, opening your heart and mind to the gifts that are meant for you. It creates an atmosphere of positivity and receptivity, ensuring that when the blessing arrives, you can recognize and embrace it fully. Preparation also requires action. Faith without action is like a dream without effort. It lacks the energy to bring it into reality. Taking practical steps toward your goals demonstrates your commitment to receiving. These actions do not need to be grand or perfect, they simply need to be intentional. Whether it's improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, or making space in your life for new opportunities, every small step is a declaration of your readiness. The universe responds to action with momentum, propelling you closer to your blessings. Patience is an essential part of preparation. In a world that often values instant gratification, waiting can feel like an inconvenience or even a punishment. But divine timing is perfect, and every delay has a purpose. Patience allows you to trust the process, to know that what is meant for you will come when you are truly ready. It teaches you to find peace in the present moment, to appreciate the journey as much as the destination. The waiting period is not idle time, it is a sacred space where you grow, learn, and become. Your environment plays a significant role in preparation. Surround yourself with people, places, and practices that uplift and inspire you. Negative influences can cloud your vision and hinder your progress. Creating an environment that reflects the life you are preparing for helps you stay aligned with your purpose. This might mean letting go of relationships that no longer serve you, decluttering your physical space, or adopting habits that promote well-being. Your environment should be a reflection of your highest self and the blessings you are ready to receive. Preparation is also about letting go of what no longer serves you. Holding on to past hurts, regrets, or outdated goals can weigh you down, leaving little room for new blessings. Release is a form of trust, an acknowledgement that the divine knows what is best for you. By letting go, you create space for something greater to take its place. This process can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary for growth. The blessings you are preparing for are often far beyond what you can imagine, and releasing the old makes way for the new. Visualization is a powerful tool in the preparation process. When you see yourself living the life you desire, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that reality. Visualization is not mere daydreaming, it is a form of mental rehearsal that prepares your mind and spirit for what is to come. By vividly imagining your blessings, you train your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities and to act in ways that bring your vision to life. This practice strengthens your faith and reinforces your readiness to receive. Humility is an often overlooked aspect of preparation. To prepare for blessings is to acknowledge that you cannot achieve them alone. It is to recognize the role of the divine in your life and to remain open to guidance and support. Humility allows you to release control, to trust that the Creator's plan is greater than your own. It also reminds you to remain grounded when blessings arrive, using them not as a source of pride but as a means to serve and uplift others. The final layer of preparation is alignment with your higher purpose. Blessings are not random, they are tied to your unique role in the divine plan. By aligning your life with your purpose, you ensure that your blessings flow naturally and effortlessly. This alignment requires introspection, prayer, and a willingness to follow where you are led. It is about living in harmony with your true self and with the Creator's vision for your life. Preparation to receive is an ongoing process, a way of life rather than a single act. It is about becoming the person who can not only receive blessings but also sustain and multiply them. It is about readiness in every sense: mental, emotional, spiritual, and practical. When you prepare with intention, faith, and gratitude, you open yourself to the fullness of what the divine has in store for you. You position yourself not just as a recipient of blessings, but as a co-creator of a life that reflects the infinite love and abundance of the Creator.
The universe operates on a rhythm, a divine order that transcends human understanding. Within this rhythm lies the secret to recognizing the signs and timing of blessings meant for you. Signs are whispers from the divine, gentle nudges meant to guide you toward your purpose. Timing, on the other hand, is the masterful orchestration of events that ensures everything unfolds in perfect harmony. Together, they create a divine narrative that leads you to your destiny. The first step to understanding signs and timing is cultivating awareness. Life is filled with signs, but they often go unnoticed because of distractions, doubt, or impatience. These signs may appear as coincidences, repetitive numbers, vivid dreams, or even a sense of inner knowing that cannot be explained logically. They are not random, they are intentional. The Creator communicates in ways that resonate with your spirit, guiding you along the path you are meant to walk. To perceive them requires mindfulness, a willingness to slow down and pay attention to the subtle messages around you. Timing is another profound element of the divine plan. It is not governed by human clocks or calendars, but by a higher wisdom that knows when you are truly ready to receive. Often, blessings do not arrive when you want them, but when they are most needed. This timing is not a delay, but a preparation. It ensures that when your blessing comes, you are equipped to recognize it, embrace it, and steward it well. Trusting in divine timing requires faith and patience, especially when you are eager for change or feel stuck in a season of waiting. Recognizing signs often involves following your intuition. Your intuition is the voice of your spirit, the bridge between you and the divine. It guides you toward what feels right, even if logic or external circumstances suggest otherwise. When you feel an inexplicable pull toward a certain direction or decision, it is often a sign that you are being guided. This inner voice is quiet but persistent, and listening to it requires trust. Trust that the Creator is working through you and that your spirit is attuned to a higher wisdom. Timing also teaches surrender. When you try to force outcomes or rush the process, you step out of alignment with the divine rhythm. Surrender does not mean passivity or giving up. It means releasing control and allowing the Creator to lead. It is an act of faith, an acknowledgement that the universe operates on a schedule far more intricate and perfect than you can comprehend. In surrendering, you create space for miracles to unfold, for blessings to arrive in ways you could not have planned or predicted. Sometimes the signs you receive may challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. They may point toward decisions or actions that seem risky or uncertain. This is where courage and discernment come into play. Signs are not meant to lead you to a life of ease, but to a life of purpose and growth. They often require you to trust in the unseen, to move forward even when the path is not fully illuminated. This is how faith is strengthened, by walking into the unknown with the assurance that you are being guided. The alignment of signs and timing is a dance between you and the Creator. When a sign appears, it is an invitation to act. But action must be in harmony with the timing of the divine plan. Acting too soon or hesitating too long can disrupt the flow. This balance requires discernment, which comes from prayer, meditation, and a deep connection to your inner self. By staying attuned to the rhythm of life, you can sense when the moment is right and move forward with confidence. There are moments when signs seem to disappear, when the path ahead feels unclear. This can be a test of faith, a period meant to strengthen your trust in the Creator. During these times, it is important to remember that silence does not mean absence. The divine is always present, even in the quiet seasons of your life. These moments teach you to rely not on external validation, but on your inner knowing and faith. They remind you that timing is still at work, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Patience is both a virtue and a tool in understanding timing. The waiting period is not a void. It is a sacred space where preparation occurs. Seeds planted in the soil do not sprout overnight. They need time to grow roots, to draw nourishment, and to break through the surface. Similarly, your blessings need time to align with your readiness and with the greater divine plan. Impatience can lead to frustration, but trust in the process brings peace and anticipation for what is to come. Signs often come with confirmation. You may receive multiple signals pointing in the same direction or experience a sense of clarity and peace when you make a decision. These confirmations are the Creator's way of assuring you that you are on the right path. They provide the confidence to move forward even when the destination is not fully visible. Trusting these confirmations deepens your relationship with the divine and strengthens your ability to recognize future signs. Timing is not just about waiting for the right moment, but about being ready when the moment arrives. This readiness involves preparation, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. It means working on yourself, developing your talents, and aligning your actions with your purpose. When you are prepared, you can step into the blessing fully and use it to its greatest potential. Readiness transforms waiting from a passive state to an active process of becoming. The interplay of signs and timing teaches you to live with trust, openness, and alignment. It reminds you that you are not walking this path alone, but are being guided by a power far greater than yourself. Each sign is a whisper of love, each moment of divine timing, a testament to the perfect plan for your life. By embracing this truth, you open yourself to the flow of blessings, allowing the Creator to work through you and for you in ways beyond your imagination. In conclusion, understanding the signs and timing of life is an essential aspect of walking in harmony with the divine plan. It is the key to unlocking the abundance and blessings that are destined for you. The journey of recognizing signs and trusting in perfect timing is one of faith, patience, and surrender, which enables you to embrace life with a deeper sense of purpose and direction. Divine signs are not simply coincidental occurrences. They are messages carefully placed along your path to guide you toward your highest potential. These signs manifest in various forms, through intuition, circumstances, people, or even repeated patterns that guide you toward choices aligned with your true purpose. The more you attune yourself to these signs, the clearer and more consistent their presence becomes. They are not to be ignored, but rather embraced as divine guidance, helping you stay on course when challenges arise. Timing, as much as signs, is a critical aspect of the divine flow. It is the realization that everything has its season, and blessings arrive when the conditions are ripe for them to be received. Just as a seed cannot bear fruit before its time, your blessings, too, will manifest when you are ready to receive them. This understanding allows you to release the urge to control the outcome, freeing yourself from the anxiety of waiting. When you trust in divine timing, You let go of impatience and trust that the universe's plan for you is more intricate and perfect than anything you could orchestrate on your own. The waiting period is not one of stagnation. It is a time of growth and preparation. During this time, you refine your skills, grow your inner strength, and align yourself more closely with the blessings you seek. Through prayer, meditation, and self-reflection, you prepare mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for the abundance that is on its way. This process of preparation increases your capacity to handle the gifts and challenges that come with them. It is in this space of readiness that blessings can be fully embraced and utilized to their greatest potential. Surrendering to the divine rhythm of signs and timing does not mean passivity or complacency. Rather, it is a dynamic process of co-creation. You are called to take action in alignment with your intuition, to trust the whispers of guidance that lead you toward your purpose. These actions, whether big or small, are like pieces in a puzzle that align perfectly over time, creating a picture of your dreams and desires. By staying present, remaining faithful, and trusting the journey, you find yourself in the right place at the right time, ready to receive your blessings. At times, the signs may seem unclear or absent, but even in these moments of uncertainty, the divine is still at work. Silence and stillness are powerful teachers. They allow you to grow in patience and trust. When you cultivate a deep trust in the process, you find peace in knowing that every step, every pause, every delay, and every sign is part of a divine orchestration meant to bring you to a place of fulfillment and success. The essence of understanding signs and timing is not just about waiting for things to happen, but also recognizing when the moment is right to take action. Divine timing brings a sense of peace and trust, knowing that you are supported by a force much greater than yourself. It frees you from the burden of striving and control, allowing you to walk through life with confidence and grace. When you align yourself with the signs and trust in the timing, you open yourself to a life of abundance, success, and purpose, knowing that all things are working together for your good. In the end, signs and timing are reminders of the Creator's love and guidance in your life. They show you that you are not alone on your journey. You are always being supported and guided toward the fulfillment of your highest calling. Trusting in the divine flow, aligning with the signs, and honoring the perfect timing is the key to manifesting your dreams, realizing your potential, and experiencing the fullness of life that was always meant for you.